Welcome back, everybody. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go and delete this here. Let's make another lamp. Let's talk a little bit about aesthetics and talk a little bit about how to make that work. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to create a UV sphere, and you can see that there's 200 segments. Let's make it 32 by 32. Okay, and we're going to make it not super polyed at the start. Okay, so one of the things that you need to know as an artist or a designer or any kind of anything to do with design is you need to think of something called theming. Okay, and in this case, working with a sphere and let's say two spheres, how can we make something that is functional out of that? It's not too hard, for example. So the first things first is we could actually make a lamp out of one sphere here. And this is actually a pretty cool challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push 3 here. And I'm just going to select a vertice there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the box. And you can be in face select or edge select and whatnot. But what we're going to do is we're just going to we could actually select all of this here. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually just delete everything. Okay. And we're going to copy and paste the top half. That's going to be a little bit easier to do. Okay. So I'll just move this out of here. Be to box select and just delete here. And make sure everything is gone. Be to box select. There we go. And be to box select. All right. And I'm just going to undo that here. And I'm going to delete faces. There we go. So everything should be gone here. Now we can actually, if we tab into object mode and we push Control C, Control V, or Command C, Command V, we can actually make a lamp out of this, which is actually kind of cool. So this is like, imagine if you had a sphere and you literally chopped it in half and you put one on top of the other. Not a bad idea, right? But if we make this bigger, it's a little bit different. Okay, I'm just going to move this out of the way for a quick second here. Let's hop back into this first sphere here, and let's take a look at this right here. Now, one thing we can do is we can actually extrude all of these here, and I'm just shift and right clicking, of course, to get into all of these vertices here. Just shift click, simple enough. Shift click, shift click, shift click, and there we go. And we'll just push E to extrude, and now we have this nice little lamp just like that. And I'm going to tab in and kind of move it down and whatnot. Push 7, that gives you the overhead view, and I think everything's right in the origin here. Yeah, so just kind of move it in there. Yeah, there we go. We'll just move it down just like that. And in fact, you can experiment with how to make it bigger. So this kind of looks like a mushroom, right? Now, there's actually a couple of things that we have done here. So first things first, we took a sphere and we actually made the sphere a theme for this lamp, right? We didn't add a box. We could add a box. It's something called juxtaposition, but we'll talk about that in another tutorial. But we took a sphere, we chopped it in half, we modified it, and now we have a theme. And another thing is that this, again, kind of looks like a mushroom. And one of the things that the really good designers do is they mimic something else in nature. You've seen this a large amount of times, and if you ever study architecture and look at architecture, you'll see it everywhere that architects tend to mimic nature, and nature mimics nature, and actually sometimes nature mimics man-made stuff too, which is actually kind of cool. So here we go. We have a nice little mushroom lamp there. Okay. Now, if you really want to, you can go ahead and add a subsurf modifier to make it look a little bit more smooth, but that will be up to you. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.